So thank you, Fran, for the introduction. It's good to be here. It's good to talk about China and to talk about the issue which was already referred to by Tim and Mr. Liu. I think very well balanced. Feel good to see you here as well this morning. What I will try to do is to put things a little bit or in perspective, to give you an overview of what happened, but I will try to go as quick as possible to the bigger picture, to the helicopter view, to the future of New Zealand, to the future of Fonterra, because we have to be careful that we don't let ourselves down or drown in this whole or in this issue. And as you explained it, the swamp, I think that was very well explained, Tim. So we are in this situation, or in the crisis and the rebuild, so to say, since the 1st of August. So that's really that's week 11 or week 12 we're entering right now. But the helicopter view, and I would like to go there, is really the front page of our annual report. This is a beautiful country. This is a fantastic country. This is a clean and green country. There was vision, a very strong vision of farmers, and I'm very jealous of that as a European. Already 20 years ago, that scale was going to be defining for this country and for the dairy industry. Scale was created, and scale was created on a level that the world is really jealous of. It was endorsed by government, at that time Labour, and I think government had the same vision. So we live in one of the best and most beautiful countries in the world. We are most efficient when it comes to production. We do have good quality systems. We are very aware of food safety. I'm not going to repeat what Mr. Liu said, but I think he was spot on. We do have a customer base in more than 100 countries, and we have great, fantastic talents and people in this country. So let's be very clear that what is in the right top corner, which is our strategy, Fran, and I presented that strategy a year ago, that is still very much applicable, and that's why we call it clarity. Where are we, where are we heading? So, but in that year, I knew it was going to be a challenging job, but in 1 year, you run a business, you do an IPO, you have a DCD event coming by, the most severe drought in 70 years, and then as kind of the final event in the year, you enter into this WBC 80 food scare. But, is it moving? Out of the clarity at home, we are very committed, and we are extremely committed to China. Fonterra is there since 1970. I've been in China since 1995. In my previous life, we established a joint venture. That was a difficult wave of joint ventures in China, but everybody learned, and towards the end of, let's say, between 2008 and 2010, things really started to move fast in China. And China is really our #1 market. If we lose confidence or commitment to China, then we have to rewrite our whole strategy. It's a #1 market. 1 liter out of 5 produced in New Zealand right now goes to China. So it's 500,000 tons of ingredients this year. And each and every GDT event, over the last 4 or 5 GDT events since the crisis, 65 to 70% of GDT volumes, and significant volumes, we are on a level of 50,000 tons every event, bought by China. So China is crucial. So it's clarity and commitment. I would like to add confidence. We need confidence. But first of all, and I think Mr. Liu pointed that out very, very clearly, we need to be united. And we should challenge each other, and we should really be on the edge when it comes to commercial issues and business issues when it comes to China, but we have to be united. And everything was being done and said in New Zealand is traveling to the world and is translated in 5 seconds into Chinese, into Arabic, into Spanish, and a lot of things get lost in translation. I'm not saying that we should not be open and challenging each other, but we have to think, how are we going to drive this country forward in a united way? So this is what happened to us, right? I don't want to rub it in, but this is kind of similar. This boat here, and I'm a sailor myself, not on, I can't sail this boat by the way, but this boat went to 44.8 degrees. If it would have been 45.1, it would have crashed, right? But I think this crew was very aware at that moment, although a mistake was made, was very aware of the situation and handled that situation properly. So I want to use this metaphor, and I don't want to refer to a team who lost, because I think they are really a winning team and a team of heroes. I've seen them training over the summer here in Auckland, and I've seen some of the sailing races, but they did a fantastic job. So when you use that metaphor, we came into a similar situation, and we installed the 4 R's, right? Recall, review, and there's quite a lot of reviews ongoing: operational review, board review, ministerial inquiry, and MPI review. Recovery, we are already, as management, we are already through that mode, and I will share it with you. And last but not least, rebuild. So how does it look like? I don't want to share photos of myself normally, and it's a lousy photo anyway. But what was said before on that weekend and the press conference, I went straight from Europe into China. The first person on the phone, Tim, I think was you, at 6 o'clock in the morning. But I thought, and I was briefed that, this will be a press conference of about 35 people. It turned out to be really, as we call in New Zealand, a rugby scrum. So there were more than 150 people. There were 65 cameras. You see the numbers of microphones in front of me. It was a huge, huge event, but it was very well balanced. It was objective, and it was properly reflected in the media. And I agree with the previous comments. It was 4 days front page. I rushed back to New Zealand because of the issues here, and I can tell you, when you walk into a plane in China, in Beijing, and there's 3 trolleys of Chinese newspapers, and all newspapers have your picture on the front page. It's not. And I didn't bring my baseball bat and my baseball cap and my glasses, so I was kind of exposed in that plane because you saw the people. Anyway, but we had nowhere to go really with this recall. We got the phone call. The news was, we asked for a test: is it sporogenous or botulism? Botulism, toxin producing, and mice are dying. That was the news. So you can't wait. You can't say, I'm going to test once more, because that test will take a month. If something happens to one child in a key market like China, that's the end of the story. Not only for Fonterra, but for New Zealand. So we had to act. And there was a big trade-off between food safety and information, right? And clarity, so to speak. But food safety, we took the food safety call straight away. We knew that there was a lot of things were not going to be clear, because the product produced in Hautapu, in the end, out of 38 tons, 17 tons went to nutritional products. That became 2,200 in Darnham. That became 6,500 tons in 23 markets for 2 customers. You have 2 supply chains, you have to do a global recall, 6,500 tons, which started as 17 tons in 23 markets. Not easy, but you had to push the button. That's food safety issue, recall. So we went through a review, and of course management is always quite fast, so we finalized that already in the beginning of September. But these were really, Maury Leyland and myself, I asked Maury really to do this. She did an outstanding job. We have 4 key buckets here where we say, what are the learnings? So on our people and on food safety, we have fantastic systems. We made the right call. Did we always do things right? No. For example, in Hautapu, if you decide to rework 100% because of a piece of plastic in 38 tons, and approved by all authorities, you might say, hold on, should I use that product for all destinations, or should I put it for UHT products and animal feed only and avoid this product to go to infant nutrition? Those are learnings which we take on board. So that's on our products and on our manufacture as well, that there's definitely learnings. On traceability, I don't need to repeat my story of 2,200 and then going into 6,500, very difficult. But it's the same as with the boat of Team New Zealand. This doesn't happen because of one incident. There's always a sequence of incidents. And in systems, in Darnham, we were just in a changeover from JD Edwards to SAP. You will always see when these things happen, you're in the middle of a changeover, massive changeover of your systems. It's not an excuse, but it's a fact. Maybe most critical, where I'm most critical of, is our response when it comes to escalation, but also transparency in the first 72 hours. Escalation levels, she'll be alright, Tim, you've said it. That's kind of the attitudes we still have sometimes, and it has to change. She'll be not alright, or you have to front it. If you start testing for botulism at the end of May, and you have only 2 outcomes, black or white, you need to act, right? So those are key learnings. Yes, she'll be a right attitude, it's not acceptable. So this is the review. There's 20 learnings for us which Maury and I are taking on board. We have implemented 12 out of 20, so we're going very fast. But I think that we are world class in manufacturing, food safety and quality, but we have to lift the game. So we have to become the NASA of food safety and quality of the world. I've spoken to our key customers, key multinationals impacted by this, and quite a few are willing to join us on that idea. How are we going to create the NASA of food safety and quality in New Zealand? Oops, I'm doing something wrong now. But we had to make big calls as well in the recovery phase, because when we were only a few weeks into this event, an issue, we had stuff. We knew that we were going into the milk curve, and we were really ramping up from 2 million a day to 86 million liters a day right now. Today we collect 86 million liters of milk. Yeah, and at that time we were at maybe 10. So we were in the ramp up. So that's why the review was very important. Take the learnings on board, but stay committed to the market. There was a lot of discussion about testing regimes, there was a lot of things going on, but we said we keep on shipping our products. During the crisis we had around 200,000 tons of products in the supply chain to China alone. And we kept on going, regardless of the outcome. We are committed. We could not allow China, after this issue, to not have sufficient milk and protein. Then we are already in the rebuilding phase, although there's still a lot ongoing in review, which concerns me a little bit, to be open here. It's an open forum. Because if you go back to step 2, to the review, and you have a lot of information again coming to the media, it might affect your rebuild phase. And we are in the rebuild phase. This picture was not only me, but the whole board. Yeah, we traveled in different regions in China, and we really fronted in supermarkets with consumers, but also visited a lot of customers, and that was really highly appreciated. Of course, local authorities as well, so we're really rebuilding very fast on customer, local authorities, and consumer will take a longer time. So, what are we doing? Back to the strategy and back to clarity. When it comes to the key strategic path, this is our strategy. So this is the strategy of Fonterra. And I'm not going to read through it all. It's the 7 platforms, which starts with New Zealand milk. Platform 6 is the local milk pools, then going up the value curve. All these platforms apply to China as well. And we're even going faster. So, if you like, on New Zealand milk, we are doing 500,000 tons this year. We have on platform 2, Everyday Nutrition, we have launched in week 2 of the crisis, we have launched the super premium anchor position. On platform 3 in food service, we are rolling out from 35 cities to 75 cities. And lean, we're rolling out to 50 cities. We have launched 2 weeks ago infant formula under N-Mum. We are rebuilding our relations on third-party manufacturing on platform 5. Platform 6, the board has approved the second hub in our 1 billion milk pool, which we're building. One hub does 150 million. Second hub is approved. There's another 150 million commitment. And on organization, we're really aligning as much as possible with politicians, local authorities, customers, and we're really very much market focused. So what does it look like? Just our commitment to China. And this commitment is for the coming 2-3 years, so this is not 2020. We are doing this, or the coming year, we're doing about 4 billion turnover to China, 4 billion New Zealand dollars. And there's 4 big groups. Ingredients, I think ingredients is underestimated with 1.5 times where we are right now, because when we look at GDT, it's higher. Food service will double in the coming 2-3 years. Farms, because we built 5 hubs, we have 1 now, it's times 5. And we are very aggressive with our investments. It's roughly 80 to 100 million investments behind brands every year. So that will go times 7, because if you roll out very fast in cities, launch anchor, launch infant formula, then that will go very fast. So this is really our commitment to China. Yes, we had that issue. We are very clear of where we are in the world. We are very committed to China. We need to have confidence, like I said, and we need to be united. Thank you.